right into it.
Right.
The Movie Cast.
So our movie this time around was Cyber Seeker from, what year did this come out?
1993.
93. Does anybody want to give a quick synopsis?
Yeah, I can. This is the way I understand it is now the year 2013. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Deep into the future.
And there was a virus that spread called HIV-8, and it basically killed off a bunch of people. So you have kind of this dystopian society above ground, and the elites live underground, or they live underground or behind a
Underground.
Okay,
Yeah.
underground, also behind like a net, like an electric vaporizing force field, yeah. And
that's just basically a little
A
wall
death
around
wall.
the opening.
It's a death wall, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
so none of the above ground garbage can go into their lair. And it stars Joe Estevez,
That's it.
the
Yeah.
lesser known brother. He's a brother? Or is he the cousin? Or
Brother.
okay. Anyway, and he plays I don't think he's the president, but he's like
The
some
guy in
kind of
charge.
guy in charge, yeah, of the underground city. And above ground, you have this cast of characters, including
The guy sounds exactly like his brother Martin Sheen.
it looks a lot like them too.
And looks very close to him, but honestly, the voice is just so much like his.
It is. If Martin Sheen was born with like fetal alcohol syndrome or something, that's what you get Joe Estevez.
Yeah.
And so I guess he'll do anything, because I looked him up on IMDb after watching this, and he's in like a million
Oh, yeah.
movies I never even heard of. Like,
He's the budget Martin Sheen.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And so anyway, so there's that. The virus is spread, and they have these certain kind of commandos or soldiers called seekers that look for the remaining vials of the virus called HIV-8 that are somehow scattered around the world. And
Also called the Reaper.
also called the Reaper, device called the Reaper. And above ground, there's a kind of just bad guy, I don't know what you would call him, who has found one of these vials. And he's also created a cyborg to help him out and be his bodyguard, basically. And so his plan is to tell the people, the elites living in the underground city, that he's going to release the virus if they don't give up the city and give him control of the city. And so the Joe Estevez sends out a cyber seeker to go and get the last vial of HIV of the Reaper, HIV-8, and bring it back so that you can neutralize the bad guy and his cyborg. So that's kind of the skeleton story of the movie.
The Seeker is the budget version of Brandon Lee. And
That was the budget version of Don the Dragon Wilson.
maybe, except he does more martial arts in the movie than Don usually does, which is why I say the budget version of Bruce Lee's son.
And
Brandon
his
Lee.
last name is Lee too in the credits.
Oh.
Okay, but yeah, he's imprisoned, and you find out later on it's because he got pissed off at his handlers because they wouldn't let his brother into the city who happened to be blind.
Yeah, he was deemed a degenerate or whatever. Oh,
Viral. You got to remember the virals.
Yeah, and here's another part of the story. You find out later on, spoiler alert for anybody that's going to watch this, there's the way that the virus actually got out into the world was it was intentionally spread by the elites to kill off all the riffraff and start society over again with rich people, basically, and people
Get rid
in
of
power.
the overpopulation problem.
Yeah, overpopulation was the number one problem. That's kind of how that goes.
And then the virals are people, essentially, but they survived the virus, Like, very few people that got it survived it, and they're all like scarred up and hideous looking. And evidently, some of the children had a genetic mutation where they ended up being cannibals, but they
Oh, I
couldn't
forgot.
help
Yeah, I
it
forgot
because
about
it
the
was a
cannibals.
genetic mutation.
Yeah, that's what the doctor said. It's not their fault.
Orange is going to get us taken down.
What's he doing?
Nothing.
I didn't
yeah.
say it.
He didn't say a word.
But it's honestly really, really weird how many of the virals, you know, this subspecies of humans that are degenerated, knew Eskrima. I mean, it was really surprising how many knew martial arts and really, really knew stick fighting well.
They're also cannibals.
And they ate people. They set up traps and, ate people.
Maybe they were taught by their leader, school teacher, that wanted to help them.
The guy that did all the bad crap, got the vial and everything, it starts out, he's all by himself. Yeah, Roth, whatever. He's all by himself, and he just randomly, beats up some dudes, finds this viral thing somewhere, and then the next time you see him, he's like in control of a whole band of raiders, and he's trying to make deals with the virals, and he has an entire harem of extremely fit topless strippers.
Yeah, they kind of cut out the middle part of how that all began, because it began, he just had a tent and he was putting together a cyborg in it.
No, he had a shed.
The
He had
movie
a
starts out
Unabomber shed
with him putting a hubcap under his shirt and then fighting.
That was fantastic.
Fighting some virals.
Him and his hubcap.
And then cutting off the head of one of the virals and putting it on a pole as a warning.
Yeah, evidently he was a big fan of like Clint Eastwood movies. The hubcap under the shirt for protection there.
Right.
Let's talk about the budget real quick, because I think
budget?
that was unique.
It all went to the Sheen.
The various scenes with very fit topless girls, because there were several. I was expecting like one instance of gratuitous nudity, which is what you would get from a late 80s, early 90s movie. But there was just so many boobs in this movie that, that's the only reason it was remotely watchable.
And it was shot on VHS camera, I think, shot directly to video. It looked like it had that look like.
No, maybe, but it also had that severe lack of motion blur that started happening in mid-90s soap operas that makes it kind of look unreal when things move. Like, a high-quality camera was used, like so high quality that when it moved, everything stays in focus, and it just makes it look wrong.
I think it was a good camera, but I also think it was just shot directly to video. I'm pretty sure there wasn't any film involved with this.
Yeah, it was very digital. And yeah, a lot of the scenes, I kept being surprised that the background music for Tank Girl didn't start playing.
Background music also was absolutely horrible. None of it seemed to match any situation at all.
Yeah,
when
it
there
did have
was
a lot
some,
of.
then there was times when there was nothing.
Well, how'd you like those credits in the very beginning? The orange background with the black cloud fade effect that would fade into the movie every time it changed.
There were also, I don't know if you guys watched the same one that I did. I don't know where you watched it or whatever. But like, there were several scenes where all you had was background noise, and you could see people talking, but you couldn't actually hear anything other than, the background noises.
Yeah, I don't think they used lav mics or anything. I think it was just recording straight through the video camera, probably.
It cost too much money.
Microphones. Sound quality.
But the story, I thought, was kind of overreaching for the budget that they had.
Absolutely.
I'm also everybody goes down below and everything goes to hell. It's not a nuclear thing, but somehow the land turned, the above ground turns into a like desolate landscape. Why? If there's
they're in
less
the desert.
people, that should be the opposite effect.
They had to be in like Southern California or
Well, yeah,
Arizona.
but they were talking about how because there was less people that the Earth turned into a desolate place.
That's weird.
It should turn into a very lush place.
Yeah.
Exactly. It should be the exact opposite.
Right.
It's not like there was a nuclear attack which killed everything.
Right.
It's the opposite.
And then randomly they just decide that the guy that they sent out, the seeker that they sent out, yeah, you got to kill him.
Right.
Just kill him.
Yeah, his name is Roger Lee. He plays Ryan Steele.
It's a very manly name that he has right there.
Right.
And then there was one guy called was it Risk or was it Rix?
I think it's
Oh
Rix.
yeah, no, I didn't get his backstory. He was supposed to kill everybody.
No, he
It
was
wasn't
just
a
supposed
backstory.
to.
That was it.
He was just supposed to kill Steele.
Why?
Well, and abandon everybody else.
Another thing that got me is, this is supposed to be in the future, 10 years after everything went to hell. Evidently, Fruit of the Loom is still in business because the
Sure.
underwear that scientist lady that they randomly had to bring with them to verify shit that just stuck something into a little mini computer to verify it because nobody else could do that.
Right.
Like when she randomly gets undressed on her first day out to go take a bath in this unknown water. She has like some high quality Fruit of the Loom underwear there.
Yeah.
She had the body to be as naked as she was on there, but there was no point in having her in the entire movie.
No.
Hey, care to guess how many movies Joe Estevez has been in without looking it up?
127.
Mortency says 2. You say 120?
45.
I say 127.
321 movies.
Damn.
It says he has 18 upcoming.
And
18
hold on.
upcoming?
Yeah.
I do vaguely remember reading some portions of that,
Well,
and he's had
Scotch.
like 3 of his own, or 2 of his movies that were done by MST3K, and then like another 3 that were hit by riff tracks or something.
Wow.
I'd imagine.
He ought to win some kind of Golden Razzie Award or something. Pretty impressive. But it was. Somebody said it was better than Soldiers. Was that
Universal Soldiers? Yeah.
Yeah, I have to agree with that.
No, I have to agree with that too. But
But
still,
was it entertaining?
It was easier to watch than Gunhead.
Well, yeah. Pretty
Entertaining.
much everything is.
Entertaining. Meh.
I think they were a little too ambitious.
Yeah, the plot was too hard to follow.
Yeah, they should have pared it way down, and for the budget they had. What'd you think about? Oh, also that final death scene of Roth, the bad guy, when he throws him into that.
Yeah, we haven't even talked about the quality CGI in this film yet. Because no, it was interesting when they threw the rock at the barrier to show that what would happen, and when they threw the rock, it kind of like turned into dust.
Yeah,
and that was kind of understandable. But then when they threw the guy into it, or kicked the guy into it,
it turns into like the hologram.
Yeah,
man,
he starts shrinking, and this whole digital effect thing. I figured they were going to do the whole blood mist thing, and they just didn't.
No, it was so crazy looking. I was like, that is the dumbest effect I've ever seen.
Yeah,
it was bad. And then the explosions, which, just looked so much like explosions.
That was great. Did they even bother with an explosion? They had the flare sitting on the dynamite, and they had like the girl leaning up against the wall, and then she had to like pretend like something happened, and then they had the steel was on the ground in front of her. He's like, "Oh, you okay?" Oh, they did. Then you're right. They did that fake fire thing come up through the
valley or whatever around the corner from where the explosion was.
So horribly bad.
That's how they got rid of the cyborg.
Right.
or the robot.
Directed by Mike Tristano. What else has he done?
That guy needs to never make a movie, ever.
Did he make anything else?
14 movies.
14?
Yeah. You know what his specialty is? He is
Garbage.
a master
Making
armorer.
shit.
Master armorer and weapons maker. That's what he
He should stick to that shit.
does for a
Is
living.
Master Armor the hubcap?
Yeah.
Oh, and that's how the Seeker survived getting shot with a crossbow.
Yeah, I like how everything uses crossbow.
Yeah, so there are crossbows, but only like certain people use them for some reason. There's no guns, even though it's only 10 years into the apocalypse.
Now, why did they go with, okay, we have to send this small amount of the virus down into the hole? Well, let's use a crossbow to shoot it. We got to use this. We got to somehow get this thing. At this point, just take the vial and a little bit of the vial and chuck it down there. Why'd they have to shove a crossbow down into a hole and then shoot it down?
That they had to have some kind of visual.
On that same line, so he just Steele puts the vial of virus into Joe Estevez's mouth and makes him swallow it.
Yeah,
and he immediately starts dying.
Yeah.
No,
but what's going to happen? I mean, the rest of the virus is going to go out into the air, right?
Right,
Yeah,
it's
wasn't
not
the whole
going to come
problem
out
because
as
of-
pores or anything, and Steele's not going to die right after.
Yeah.
well,
It doesn't make sense.
another thing too is it's HIV-8, but unless it changed, HIV is sexually transmitted or through blood transfusion. So how is it like that?
They were
fast?
saying that they modified it. That like
Right.
the
Oh, they made it airborne.
Yeah, they modified it into essentially a chemical weapon, is what they were saying.
Right.
And they were supposed to be able to control the distribution, so they could do it to a specific area, and then they could stop it. But it went out of control.
Right.
Because
they added too much bath salt.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure they accidentally added too much crocodile, and that explains the virals. Do not look that up. Do not look up crocodile. I am telling you, listeners, do not look up crocodile. You will regret it.
Injecting codeine and gasoline mix under your skin.
You will regret looking that up. As Honky goes and looks that up. You will regret it.
I'm looking at the other movies this guy directed, Mike Tristano. A surprisingly large number of them have Joe Estevez in it. Beast, The Summoned, Flesh Merchant, Cyber Seeker, Body Count, Warrior of
Hold on.
Justice.
He did one of the Feast movies?
Well, this is from '92.
Oh, I think the Feast movies I'm thinking of came later. But those were quality movies. I highly recommend those.
Doubt it's this one.
The trilogy.
Yes.
This is called a cannibal comedy. Two guy roommates lure lovely ladies back to their bachelor pad for a dinner they'll never forget.
No, the Feast movie I'm talking about has to do with aliens, and Jay is in it.
How about The Flesh Merchant? A team of LA detectives hunts down the ringleaders of a sex slave operation. What do you want to bet that most of these movies have lots of boobs in them?
Well, there were lots and lots of boobs in this movie.
I don't think Feast was aliens.
Oh, you're right. It was some ancient creature from Earth.
Yeah, like Welsh folktale or something.
Yeah.
That all came from that Bravo reality show where directors get to make their first movie with other people. I think Matt Damon was involved in that one.
Oh, I know Jason Mewes was involved in Feast. And Ben Affleck and Matt Damon were executive producers. I'm really surprised they were willing to put their names on that.
Excuse me, do you realize that I was just eating supper and... Well...
Hey, I put a disclaimer. I said do not look that up. Several times.
So
I didn't look that up. I'm talking about the movie. This movie is enough shows that I have a strong stomach.
I'm going to give this movie a thumbs down. I think it could have had potential if they would have pared down the plot a little bit and not try to make it so complex for the budget they had, and just make it a straightforward kind of sci-fi action in the desert or something. But they tried to cram too much in it, and sorry, Mr. Mike Tristano.
You know, I don't know. I don't even know what to call it. It's so complex.
So back to Feast. That was a amateur filmmaking documentary series for contestants on Project Greenlight, which I think was on Bravo. And they paired them with the different directors, filmmakers. They paired them with different people to help them with the make a film. So that's how that first one originated. Was the best thing I saw that came out of that show.
I'm really surprised. I mean, I'm looking at the Wikipedia page, and this movie Feast cost $3.2 million to make, and it only made in the box office $658,000, and yet they still made 2 sequels.
Yeah.
Was it any good?
Oh, it was garbage in the best kind of way.
Oh yeah, it's wonderful.
It's fun to watch with friends.
It is so fun. Yes,
okay.
Yes. There was some stuff they did in the first one that, from what I remember, that was. I mean, there was comical stuff in it. There was just off the wall stuff. They start off by having all the characters being stereotypical, and they're like putting up on the screen as they introduce the characters, the hero, and all this stuff, and it's just. It's awesome.
As soon as he's called the hero, you know, and it says, this guy kicks ass.
Whoa, shut up.
Okay, I'm going to stop there.
I get it on my watch list.
I have the trilogy.
What one was the first one put out?
You definitely need to watch. Let me see. The year 2005.
Did I watch all
and
three?
Sloppy Seconds is 2008, and The Happy Finish is 2009.
I've never seen giant robots be that anticlimactic.
Got a 6.2 on IMDb. It's pretty good.
It's some quality garbage right there.
If you like horror stuff, it is very fun.
Because this was a bad movie that we watched, but it would have been a bummer to like coerce my friends into watching this. It was it wasn't fun movie.
There was nothing really redeemable about this movie. I watched most of it at 2x, and even that couldn't make most of it watchable.
Ooh,
Granted, there were scenes where I slowed it down to 1.
Why?
Boobs.
Yeah. Can you speed up
that
Peertube?
Woman with the nice rack? Yeah.
By the way, I really appreciate the fact that you put it on the Peertube.
Yeah, that's where I watched it.
I did not have to download it and dirty up my jellyfin with that.
If you're wondering what I use to speed it up, and it works on any video that I've come across, not just Plex, but there is an extension to Chrome that you can get called Plex Speed, and that will speed up any internet-based video up to 2x.
So, does anybody give this a thumbs up?
No,
Hornsey? Not even you?
do not recommend.
Alright, you guys ready for the next movie?
Bikini Hackers.
By the way, what part of this was considered tech
The
related?
title.
Maybe the
Yeah, what part of it? They weren't seeking anything cyber. Why were they called cyber seekers?
I don't know.
They were seeking vials of.
Because it sounds cool.
I could see it being called Cyber Seeker if the droid was the Cyber Seeker.
Yeah.
Right.
But it wasn't.
Or if they were seeking droids out instead of vials of the Reaper.
Drugs. Yeah.
Alright, here we go. Free Jack.
Free Jack?
1992.
Love that movie.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a good movie.
Starring Emilio Estevez, Mick Jagger, and Rene Russo.
Good music in that movie.
This came out in 1992. Never seen it.
Time travel movie.
Oh, Anthony Hopkins, Jonathan Banks. Really, I've heard of this.
I wouldn't want you to think I don't value my life highly.
Does that start with the race car?
Yes.
What are you doing that for?
Oh, that's horrible. I told you not to look it up.
That's gross. That's what is that called?
Crocodile.
Crocodile. So that's what it does to your skin?
Essentially, that's what you do to your skin.
What did you
Become a crocodile.
What did you say it has in it?
I think it's codeine and gasoline. They use cough syrup to make it.
Do we all try it together next time we meet up?
No.
That was what about 15 years ago? 15 years ago, that was a big thing.
Yeah.
That's so horrible.
Oh, I think I've seen a picture of people with their bones exposed.
Yes.
Oh,
You see that ghost? There's a ghost behind Joe that knocked some things over.
Evidently. I don't know what fell.
Got it captured on film. It looked like some yellow boxes or something.
Yeah, it was Cyclops is after me.
Is it a bobblehead? Or what do they call them?
Sort of. This one's a Derbs.
Derbs.
Vinyl collectible.
Yeah, he's praying the spirits away. Those monks in the Kung Fu movies. Get out of here, spirit.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about the priest in the movie, or that what looked like an Apple OE2.
Oh, what he was programming the android on?
Well, yeah, and what he showed all the information about how, the elites created the thing to the scientist lady.
Was that an Apple II?
I have no idea. It had they didn't show enough of it for me to be able to say, but the screen was the two-color green and white or whatever.
Yeah. This movie gets stars.
There's
Wow,
so
since
much
they
to
have
talk
0
about with that
stars.
movie.
Big fat 0.
We could spend more time talking about all of the garbage in that movie than the actual length of the movie.
How long was that movie?
Hour and 30, I think. Hour and 40.
Yeah, too long.
Too long.
We should start at the beginning of the Joe Estevez